Hello, Phantomaniacs! Welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are taking a look at the next figure in the newest wave of G.I. Joe Ultimates from Super 7, the Crimson Guard Elite Trooper. This is, I love seeing these Sunbow troop builders, but also I do hate it knowing like I'm never going to spend $55 or at $55 a piece. I'm not going to be troop building these. And I hear the Super 7 haters, yeah, and just wait till the end of the year, and you'll be able to buy the whole wave for $20. Yeah, that hasn't been happening with every one of these waves. Pay attention. And the troop builders don't tend to go down in price that much anyway. So, here we go. This is, I think, the second one I'll be reviewing. The only thing I know for sure is that Roadblock has already been posted. I received these for Christmas, which I'm very thankful for, and I don't know what order they're going to go up for sure because I still have, well, by the time this goes up, my top 10 of 2024 will be up. So that I know that for sure as well. But whatever. Crimson Guard, I've got a nice little Sunbow computer graphics file card on the back with some shots of CGs from the Real American Hero cartoon. Let's get this opened up. If I'm being completely honest, and I always am here, my enthusiasm for the Ultimates has waned a bit. Only because, as I have always said, I'd rather have O-rings than anything. Not just Ultimates. Like, I would, if Hasbro would adopt, ooh, I like the feel of this. This is interesting. If Hasbro would adopt, or commit to, rather, a new O-ring line, I would rather have that than classified. If Super 7 would commit its resources now, this is just what's happening. It's bent up. Now, the same thing with Roadblock's weapon. I heated it up, stuck it in the freezer for a few minutes, and it straightened out and was fine. I hate seeing this, and this is one of the reasons why I was in favor of the plastic-free packaging, is getting stuck in those plastic trays does this all the time. But to be fair, this is plastic that's really softer than it should be for this kind of piece. But that also means that all you have to do is heat it up and freeze it, and it goes back to its nice straight form. We'll take a closer look at this in a minute. Got the backpack with the backpack straps, and we've got the beginnings of the amoeba. Let's see. Oh, man. I love these. It's funny. I wouldn't want... This is where what Super 7 is doing works for me because I love the aesthetics of Sunbow and the colors and everything. But like in the 25th anniversary line, when they did some Sunbow colored figures, it didn't really work for me. And don't get me wrong, I got them because I was buying almost everything from 2007 to probably 2011. I was just not very picky. I was buying almost everything. But to me, some of the Sunbow color schemes didn't really work with the much more detailed and textured 25th anniversary figures. I like what Super 7 does because they try and remain faithful to that source material in every way. Which is where, you know, with their O-rings, I hate trying to pop. See, and this is another problem. Lately, the trays of not just Super 7 stuff, but many different toy companies, the trays have felt like much harder plastic than they need to be. And I've been very nervous about, especially with these. Look at these beakers with these little skinny legs on them. Little worried about trying to snap those out of there. Or I guess pop those out of there. Afraid they will snap. Okay, donut came out easily enough. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to cut this one apart because none of this stuff Okay, some of this stuff is not coming out very easily at all. Yeah, I'm not saving this anyway. Why bother being precious about it? My recollection, sorry, there was a little silence there because I'm annoyed at this. So the Crimson Guards, in my mind, didn't have, gosh, a huge presence in Sunbow. Like, if you had asked me off the top of my head, were the Crimson Guards featured prominently? Were they a big deal? Were there a lot of them? Whatever. I probably would have said, I don't really remember that being the case. As many times as I've watched those Sunbow cartoons, man, this is ridiculous. Whew. We'll take a look at his glasses in a minute. They appear crooked, but I think they're just warped again because of this horrible tray. I'm going to try to get one of these beakers out by pushing it out, because cutting it is not turned. No, that's not going to budge. This is terrible. Super 7, you got to get a handle on this. The point I was trying to get to, as I lose my mind trying to get these things out of here, is that a Crimson Guard would not have been one of my top picks for the Ultimates. And I think that's another reason why my enthusiasm... Okay, well, that kind of worked. I think that's another reason why my enthusiasm for the Ultimates has waned a little bit, is, you know, if we're lucky, maybe we get two waves a year. And that's 8 figures a year, and there are a lot of characters to get to, and that's a snail's pace. So while I've got, you know, a nice collection, this is absolutely ridiculous. While I've got a nice collection of Ultimates for sure, everybody has their favorite characters. Everybody has people that they want to see in these lines. I just want to reiterate this rigidity of this tray is insane. It's funny that the tray is so rigid I can't get anything out of it, but the gun is soft plastic. And it's fun. You know what else is funny? Is no matter how much I do point out the flaws I perceive with Super 7, the haters will leap out, because that's just not good enough. You have to hate it more. You can't have reasonable critiques. It must be pure rage and hatred. All right. Oh, I don't know where that coffee mug just went. Oh, there it is. This is nuts. If I do have the opportunity to interview Brian Flynn again, I will open it up for questions as I did last time. And somebody please remind me to ask him about this, which by the time I get to interview him will probably be a thing of the past, and they'll have figured out the thickness of their trays. But give that a mention when I open it up for questions, because I don't want to forget that. All right, cool. This is enough to make me want to stop doing unboxings and just do reviews once the thing is already out of the box. So to get back to the color scheme, I love this blue on the Crimson Guard, but I wouldn't want it on just a regular Crimson Guard figure that didn't have the softer detail and whatever. What is happening in this armpit? Okay, so over on this side, we've got a regular looking armpit joint. Let's zoom in here. Perfectly normal. Obviously, there's the paint loss because people want, well, some people want painted everything. But when you do painted everything, and you see this on Super 7, you see this on NECA, you see this on Mezco, when you've got a joint like this, there's going to be loss of that paint and that pigment. So totally normal shoulder over on the right side. On the left side, however, what the heck are we looking at here? Where is the hinge? It's like way down in here. And then we've got this white discoloration that may wipe off. Let's see. Doesn't seem to be a straight up like paint error. Might be some... No, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. But I don't know what that could even be because there's no white on this figure. Unless you count his neck, which is pretty pasty white, I'll admit. I don't know if I've made any headway at all. Oh, yeah, I think I have. Maybe. I don't know. I'll work on that a little bit more later. So, yeah, that's not great. Not off to a good start in any way with this figure, as much as I hate to admit it. Joints-wise, everything else seems to be working pretty nicely. And see the knees here, they didn't bother to put any paint on. And I mean, that's what you're going to get when you've got a fully painted figure, is there going to be some plastic colors. Well, he's got paint over here. Oof, this is going to be a fun one for the haters. It's going to be hard for me to come back on anything from this. I love the way they've got the stripes painted down the legs. Painted and sculpted. Yeah, seeing it stuff like this, I mean, this is what gives those haters fuel. And while to the naked eye, I can barely even see this, it is showing up in the video, and it is something that, you know, let's be honest, shouldn't be there. Look at the texture. That's on that one knee, and seemingly nowhere else. Yeah, we got some flaws in this one. We might be to a point where I consider doing a return on him, because he's got some issues. Cobra tampos look great. And again, the blue striping and everything looks really good. I like the way that they did the belts here. We've got whatever this business is that seems to happen. I mean, this is across any line. You get this kind of indentation that's frustrating, but it's kind of just a toy thing. That I can't get too mad about. The triangles on the epaulets. And again, you can see a little something right here. Oh, no, wait, that's gone. Never mind. And that distinctly Sunbow coloring and shape of the Crimson Guard head. Sits down nicely. Got a little loop over here for blaster storage. Slick looking figure. It just has, and I like his, look at the way they did. I feel like he's got a more suity, uniformy shape, like his upper torso and his shoulders, than some of the other figures do. Stands up very nicely. Just has a good soldiery look to him. All right. Got that same kind of slick mess over here. I wonder how Big Bad feels about this, because these came from Big Bad. I wonder how they feel about, like, doing as many Super 7 returns as I'm sure they do, because this will shock nobody. There are people out there far pickier than me. And there are figures I have kept that they're, I love the fit of these backpacks though. Look at that. See, and this is where my Super 7 love comes from. Now, granted, I'm probably not going to use this backpack on him because I'm going to go for a pure Sunbow look, but I love the backpack straps. I love the look of this backpack on this figure as opposed to being a peg hole. I think it's great. Look at that sculpt on that thing. It's beautiful. I've gotten distracted so many times during this review, but I wonder how Big Bad feels about those returns. Same problem as we've had with most of the other Joe figures is the trigger finger hand has a side-to-side hinge rather than an up and down. So chances are, just like the other figures, when you put that bayoneted blaster in his hand, oh, come on. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and call foul on that too, because his finger won't go through the trigger guard. Although he can hold this a little bit better than most of the Joe Ultimates have been able to hold their blasters. So that's a good thing. But again, I'm probably not going to display him with that piece. Not terrible. That might be the thumbnail. I'm not sure. So we'll take a closer look at this. Like I said, it is warped. It is a little softer plastic than it maybe should be, but bayonet looks great. It's got some miscoloration on this as well. And what's weird is it looks like it's the same kind of white as is in that armpit. Yeah, this guy's going to go back, and they're going to be really shocked when they see what I had to do to the tray to get him out of there. Also got, let's see, we've got a left trigger finger hand, which again is hinged, in my opinion, improperly. The default hands were fists for punching. We've got the little beakers, that one of which is on the floor next to me. I'm not going to go after it. But yeah, Bacteria X. Oh, wait, but I need to see, because I think... Yeah, this is a different compound, so I got to take a look at this one too. Got to have both of them. He didn't come with any apple seeds. Okay, so that is... Look at that tiny, tiny print. We're going to have to get out the magnifying glass. So there's Bacteria X, which ends up being this mess. And this, by the way, is like a really soft plastic. It's almost like rubber. I like it. It's got a good feel to it, and the detailing and sculpt and everything on it is great. One of my wish list items actually is in O-ring, not in Ultimates, but a huge like hollow version of this with airtight in his massive hypodermic spaceship thing, and maybe even a couple of Cobra divers. I can't remember if it was generic Cobra divers or if it was actually eels. Can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. But this is fun. This is a fun little piece. All right, let's get the magnifying glass out and see what we got. I'm going to do another zoom in. Oh man, that may not work. Experimental. Yeah, I think it was better before. Experimental growth serum. So when you combine Bacteria X with experimental growth serum, you get a menace to the countryside that can only be killed with apple seeds. We've got a donut, which is show accurate, that goes along with the cup of coffee, which is most likely how I would display this guy. All the little ripples in the coffee there. Simple little mug. And then a Sunbow blaster, which you would think goes here, right? But it doesn't, because the sight is too big to fit in that loop. And there's nothing else that goes in there. Wow. This is a rough one, you guys. As much as I like the overall look of it, it has got some pretty serious flaws. All right, let's try. I always take the backpack off before I swap heads because I don't want to slip and push down and yank those straps off of there. So let's do a little head swap. We've got, I'm not going to bother swapping this one out. We've got a masked but helmetless head that I don't know off the top of my head where this one comes from, but it looks great. Could also be a Cobra Trooper. And then this fellow, who I believe, again, I will warm those glasses up and push them down into place. They were warped. I can see they're just kind of glued into the sides here, so they disappear into his hair is the effect we're going for. They're warped by that stiff packaging. They're kind of almost just going back into place right now. I like this one. That's a possibility. But let's do a little swap. Pop this one on here and see how it looks. Because again, I've got plenty, believe me, plenty of Crimson Guards. Oh man. That may require some heat. Yep, that's not going on. Boy. This one might be, for someone who is an avid Super 7 enthusiast, I think this one might be more brutal than that Matt Cardona figure that had some bad stuff going on, because this is just, unfortunately, full of issues. So, and although having to heat up a head to put it on, I don't really consider an issue. It's just after the cavalcade of small problems that this figure has had, that was quite a way to top it off. So, with this, I'm going to say do better. And it stinks because at first glance, this is such a cool, clean looking figure. And I really dig what they've done with it design wise. I think it looks great, but there are just the production errors that seem to never go away with Super 7. And sometimes they don't matter. Sometimes they do. Well, sometimes they don't matter to me. Everybody has different tolerances for things like that. And look, there are things absolutely that make me say, no, this figure has to go back. And unfortunately, this figure has a few of them. So this is going to have to go back. But if not for those errors, this figure is fantastic. I love it. I still love Super 7. I still love their Ultimates line. But yes, there are ongoing problems that really should have been solved by now, but for whatever reason, haven't been. And going forward, believe me, I'm going to keep buying their stuff because I love what they do. It's just how they do it doesn't always pan out so well. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. And until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.